everyone, my name is Sunny, and as a couple of you know, I said I'm doing a super secret collaboration video, and this is it. And I am here with the awesome...
Portal64. I didn't know if I was introducing myself for a second. I was like, oh, that's me. Okay.
Yeah, this is David. I think a lot of you guys in the Rwby community know him. And he does VytalCast, and I was on that for a little while. But
yeah, when are you going to be back, Sunny?
I told you... No.
Remember those photos I could blackmail you with? That I
totally shit.
No, I don't have anything.
As you guys see here on the screen, in between me and David's wonderful faces, I have this website called the Fanfic Maker with a very ominous warning on the front page. And I had this idea where today me and David are going to be generating, you'll see how it works in a second, we're going to be generating really shitty Rwby fanfictions, and then we're going to do a dramatic reading of them. Do you understand the dangers to your sanity, David?
Oh yeah, but the thing is, I didn't have any sanity to begin with, so we're good.
I also understand the dangers to my sanity, so I think we're ready to go. Okay, so me and David will work together on choosing the characters and the sliders for like violence or whatever. What setting should this first fanfiction be in?
I think it should be in the medieval era.
Nice, that's a good choice.
Okay.
I'll pick the hero of the Rwby fic. Let's just start out with Rwby.
Okay, yeah.
And she is Rwby. Female. What do you want to put for Rwby's hobby?
I want to say something cookie related. I almost want to say stealing cookies, but that'll make her sound like a bad person. So let's say making cookies or eating cookies.
Okay, we can do eating cookies. Who do we want to be the main female sidekick? Let's start with Weiss. David, who would you like to be the male sidekick number 1?
Okay, as a joke, I wanted to say Zwei. But considering what we might put on the scales, I'm worried what may come out, so let's not do Zwei.
Okay.
Let's put Ren. Let's put Ren there.
Female sidekick number 2. Sorry, Blake, we're just gonna put Yang. Who is male sidekick number 2?
Neptune.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, who do I want to be the villain, the main villain for this story?
Let's go with Torchwick, because he seems like the easiest to just fanfic.
What's the MacGuffin? The MacGuffin is something everyone in the story wants.
Maybe that could be Zwei.
Okay, Zwei is what everyone wants.
I mean, who doesn't want Zwei, honestly?
What ship do we want?
Let's put it on random, like the Any.
Nice. Yep, Any. And I'm going to change author's name to Sunny and David.
Alright.
Because sometimes in these randomly generated fan fictions, they put the author's name in there, so we don't want something fucking random.
Yeah, that seems best.
Now we get to the fun part, which is the sliders. We got sliders for violence, ego, sex, and cliche. Would you like to pick first? I
think for Rwby, you gotta have the cliche all the way up, because they love to go on cliches.
I'll put violence at half. Do you want to do ego or sex?
Let's do ego. We'll put it at like about 3/4 of the way up.
I don't know. Why do I have to pick the sex one? Should we put it at 0 or very low?
Yeah, let's keep it at just 0
okay.
for now.
Yeah, we'll start out pretty tame.
Yeah, well, we don't want to scare away the viewers just
yet. Rwby's Return by Sunny and David. Author's note. Just to inform everyone, I don't own any of the characters in this story, with the exception of the OCs. Don't steal them. Meanwhile, Neptune's mind was wandered back to the past, the good old days. It was Ren's Nora's party, which everyone was invited to, with 2 O's. The party was awesome as always, because Rwby was hosting it. Neptune was pretty drunk that day. If Neptune was honest, he couldn't remember much that happened. Only something about a teapot, a rabbi, and a traffic cone. There was one thing that stuck in him mind, though. Something he would never forget. Neptune. Neptune was wearing a jade mask that night. It was a fancy dress party, by the way, author's note. It was one of the best costumes at the party. Everyone had come as something or someone else. No one could recognize anyone else because everyone had bits of their bodies covered. Ren was dressed as Weiss. Weiss was dressed as Yang. Yang was dressed as Rwby. Rwby was dressed as Roman Torchwick. And Roman Torchwick was dressed as a rolled up paper.
He is rolled up paper.
Neptune had no idea which person Neptune was. At the top, they were strangers, but they would become much more. Neptune was instantly attracted to Neptune in him costume. The way he moved, the way he talked, the way he flicked his hair. Neptune was doing a karaoke number. It was summer nights, and he was awesome. He sung like a true seductor. The audience was mesmerized by Neptune.
Despite his crushing shyness and fear of people judging him, Neptune got up and sang too. He got up and
there's like
sang
3
himself.
Neptunes.
When Neptune was singing Summer Nights, it was like the words spoke to him. Neptune seemed to be addressing each word of the song just to him. The room faded away, and it was just the two of them.
Oh no.
No one else in the world. They gazed into each other's eyes as Neptune spoke the last lyric. Then silence. Suddenly, Neptune was woken out of the flash by the present. It was a cold day in Patch. A storm was coming. The next time they saw each other, Neptune winked at Neptune, remembering what happened at the party. Neptune blushed. Some of the others giggled. Did they know? Neptune didn't care. I'm so sorry for not updating. I'm working really hard on some other cool stories. As usually, the fandom's characters aren't mine, but everything else is. Enjoy.
Summary. I suck at writing summaries. Besides, the fic isn't that long. Rwby was sitting behind her desk. She felt the tears well up in her eyes. After their last adventure, Rwby found out just exactly how cruel people could be. How nasty and inconsiderate real humans actually were. Rwby stared at a picture of a polar bear, a magnificent beast who would not hesitate to kill her, but at least it would be quick. Not a overlong conspiracy of many years, just to be unleashed on her when she was at her weakest and darkest moment, when she needed her friends the most. But there had been one tiny ray of light in this hole. Rwby remembered fondly the day she discovered it. It was a Tuesday morning she remembranced. The memory surfaced before her mind's eye and took the most wonderful shapes. Before Rwby well knew it, a single tear welled up in her eyes and trickled down her cheek. Because even when all her friends betrayed her, there was one consistent factor in her life: Roman Torchwick.
Okay.
Oh God.
I have all sorts of criticisms for this fic.
Me too, the author isn't very good.
Yeah, Sunny and David will learn how to write.
And Rwby knew that the rising aspirations between them could never become true. The feelings Rwby had— okay, this is weird. The feelings Rwby had for Roman Torchwick were the only thing in this world that still felt true to him. No lies, just that single pure sense and feeling for Roman Torchwick. Oh my God. Alas, Rwby thought to herself hopelessly, why must they battle? Why must Rwby be destined to destroy Roman Torchwick? Can she ever tell Roman Torchwick how much Roman Torchwick means to Rwby? If only she could, then all her pain would be over. No more betrayal, no more suffering under the laughter from Ren, who told her he loved her, only to stab her right into the heart at Valentine's Day.
That's so sad.
No, only Roman Torchwick and Rwby's true feelings for him. Author's note, lol, this has been all so depressive, lol. My next bit will be less dark.
Then Rwby looked deeply into Ren's eyes. Those heterosexual tennis balls.
Oh no!
It's just, okay. I'm afraid I can't actually do this, Rwby said. Why not? Because something terrible has happened in the last week. OMG, what then? Ruby walked away from them, and with Ruby's back turned, she spoke with a sob. I was cuddled when I didn't want to be.
Oh no.
Renz wanted to take Ruby into his, but Ruby didn't want to. I don't want your sympathy, Ruby cried. You weren't there for me, so why would you be there for me now? But I didn't know you were cuddled when you didn't want to be. But I was so sad this whole time and you never noticed.
Damn.
And now Renz thought about it. It was true. Ruby had been very, very, very sad all this time.
This is where it gets weird.
Who rapped you? Neptune did.
No.
Don't worry, he rapped. He only wrote a very poorly written rap song. Neptune did. Ruby's... But Neptune took me to his chamber, and then he rapped the Camp theme song. Ruby cried out and saw me. It was very sad. Neptune had some time before he had to do anything, so he decided to have another flashback. They had stepped of the stage to loud applause, and were now looking at each other. Hi, Neptune said meekly. Hey, Neptune said also meekly. Confidence from moments ago had evaporated like alcohol. Do you want to take over from that?
Not really, but okay. Do you want to? Maybe. Okay then. So they walked to the cloakroom. It wasn't long before their lips were together. Neptune couldn't remember who made the first move. It was probably Neptune.
He's just like...
Oh god.
In the closet by himself, you know?
He did remember the taste though. The taste of Neptune. Neptune tasted like currant on an autumn noon. Refreshing and salty, but also a bit sour. What had they been eating? Neptune tried to work out it. It took much tongue work. After a few minutes mouth-to-mouth potholing, Neptune guessed what Neptune was doing. I had purple mangosteen for lunch. Oh, you don't have to stop though. Oh, good, Neptune said with great relief. They finally drew away after what seemed a whole millennium, but was only mere minutes. The taste of Neptune's lips still lingered in Neptune's mouth as they finally looked upon each other with new eyes. Relieved sighs came from both of them as both embraced, Neptune snuggling against Neptune's neck as he snuggled up to Neptune's torso. Lots of hugging happened after this.
They had a lot of fun. Sorry about that. I got a little carried away, said Neptune. That's okay. I enjoyed it, said Neptune, blushing in the way they always did. Tomorrow? Yes, said Neptune. I'll bring some of my toys next time for us to play with them, said Neptune. And with that, they left the cloakroom and returned to the party. The months that followed were fun, but they never told their friends. Then Renz came with the perfect plan. Why don't we kill Neptune? You know, take revenge, that sort of thing. Ruby thought that was an interesting idea. The idea of just killing Neptune seemed very tempting. But how do you propose we do this? Simply, we attract him, and then we trap him, and then we kill him. Man, this is like a foolproof plan. It was a perfect plan, and so they did it. Everything was fine now. Ruby did no longer feel wrapped. And they defeated Roman Torchwick like they wanted to, and they lived happily ever after.
So that was a thing.
I mean, did Weiss ever even get used?
No,
in this?
Weiss or Yang didn't get used.
Yeah,
but Ruby and Neptune never interacted. It was Neptune and Neptune making out at the party.
Yeah, you know, it's a major plot hole that many still discuss today. But, you know, this is such a classic fic that we choose to ignore such a major plot hole.
And I liked how Ren was the jealous third wheel in that story. Very true to character, I would say.
For some reason, Ruby trusted him, despite him breaking her heart right at Valentine's Day.
Exactly. That is an interesting point.
And the unspoken romance between Ruby and Torchwick?
And then they just killed him at the end, and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Shall we do another?
Yes, let's do that. What setting should we have?
Let's do caveman era. By the way, we put medieval era, but then they were at like a party. Like it
A
said,
karaoke party.
yeah, it said cloakroom, but they had karaoke, I guess.
Who do we want for our caveman hero? Let's have Jaune.
Okay.
Jaune would be a good caveman. And his hobby.
Crying about pyrrha?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, just stab my Arco's heart. A hero's hometown. Locker.
Nice, okay. That's a good one.
He lives in his locker. Female sidekick 1. Should that be pyrrha? Yeah, because if we think about it, up through volumes 1 and 2, she was pretty much his sidekick.
Can we do Ren again?
Yeah, we'll do Ren.
Because they are kind of bros.
Should we just do Nora?
Okay.
Make it a whole Team Juniper. Male sidekick 2. Who should that be?
Who's like a kind of like random, but not absurd? Ozpin.
Yeah, we'll do Ozpin. Villain Oscar. Just kidding.
Don't murder my boy like this.
No, who do you want for the villain?
Cinder.
Yeah, we'll do Cinder. Should we just do any for the ship relationship again?
Yeah, let's do any. I like that kind of.
Any. Hopefully we don't get a narcissistic character again.
Slider
violence
time?
rating. Yep. Yeah, what do we want for the sliders?
I say violence on max.
Okay, max.
Ego. You can pick ego. We can alternate.
I think that'll be at a quarter.
Okay.
Sex rating.
Half.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. We're ramping it up. Cliche rating. Maybe I also have that at half. Make my story. The Reminisce of Cinder by Sunny and David. Author's note. This is only a draft story. If I get enough good reviews, I will write it up better and fix the mistakes. I won't fix them with negative reviews. Everyone who looked could see. There was undeniably ravenous animal attraction between Sunny and David and pyrrha.
Wait. This is an author insert. Oh god, okay.
It's an author insert. We didn't even hit the option, but it did it for us.
I guess we're rolling with it.
No one could deny it. No one except Pyrrha and Sunny and David, that is. They seemed blissfully unaware of their attraction to each other, unaware of their boundless, uncontrollable lust. Every time they met, they didn't show it, but everyone knew. Everyone knew that was really going on between them. A war of lust. And everyone knew that it was unsuitable situation. No one wanted to be dragged into that war. Something had to be done. This is the story of a time long ago. In the middle of this, finally, Ren could stand it no longer. He found Sunny and David and pulled them to one side. That's it. It's ruining the team. It's clear you can't function while Pyrrha is around.
What? No! I'm fine.
I am fine. We are so in sync with that. No, it's very clear. You need to do the boppin' squiddles with them.
Stop! This should be illegal!
Everyone else in the room nodded at this.
But doing the boppin' squiddles with Pyrrha? Isn't that, wrong?
Oh, sure. It's wrong. Very, very wrong. But just because something's wrong doesn't mean it shouldn't happen. Does it?
No.
No?
I suppose not.
Sunny and David wander off, thinking of boppin' squiddles. How will he introduce the idea to Pyrrha? And would they accept it?
It was a dark and snowy night. Jaune had been bored, so bored, you wool didn't believe it. He had been there together in the room with Ren and Pyrrha. Normally they could perfectly entertain each other, but not this time. And to make matters worse, it was almost impossible to go to town. It was too snowy, too dark. Said Ren. I wish Cinder would attack. At least we'd have something to do. Pyrrha agreed. I agree, she said, and started throwing Buddy Christ at the wall, just to catch it again when it bounced off. "Urgh," she said then as well, because she agreed with Ren. "Don't you know anything to do, Jaune?" Jaune's gaze went down the room, past Game Boy and a stack of mannequins. Then his eye fell onto a mysterious bulge beneath a blooded cloth. "I know," said Jaune. "How about we play spin the head of our enemies?" What a superb idea! Oh, Nora and Ozpin also peeked up. Yeah!
So they all sat down, and Jaune took the disembodied head first. Hilariously, it landed on Ozpin, but Jaune thought Ozpin was quite a bit too creepy, and really didn't want to kiss the man. He hoped the others might have mistook it for landing on Pyrrha. But, judging the howls of laughter and the rising anticipation in the room, they probably didn't. But don't you all see it really landed on Pyrrha? Lol, no. You should kiss Ozpin, said Pyrrha. The fact that she said it made Jaune feel rejected. Sad face. But then, all of a sudden, Cinder attacked! Cinder sat on her throne, wetly.
Move on, please.
Okay, she knew there was something wrong. Of course, Cinder had looked into the sacred mannequin, but that couldn't tell her nothing. She got up and called for their men. Author's note. Last year, Cinder had actually gained control over the demonic armies of the underworld.
Oh.
It's a really cool story. Maybe I'll write it someday, mistress. Biggest of the demonic generals spoke to Cinder. The seers in our army have heard the whispers of the dark blood. Prophecy is about to come true. The prophecy? Yes, the prophecy. Then I know what to do, said Cinder. I want you to go to locker and steal Pyrrha from Jaune. It will be my pleasure, the vile creature spoke, and with his wolf, he raised up and flapped his wings away onto a locker where he knew Pyrrha would be.
In the darkest of dark nights, between the sun dawn and the sun dusk, the demons would arrive. And before Pyrrha could realize, a large army had amassed before their doorstep. But Pyrrha would not go without a fight, and for a brief moment, it looked like they'd get the upper hand. But then the demons used their infernal power, and down Pyrrha went, captured by the demonic army. All now helpless in their darkest caves underneath, in a special prison they had prepared for Pyrrha. And in the distance, Pyrrha was sure they could hear Cinder laugh. Oh no, they thought, if only Pyrrha could warn Jaune not to come, because this was a trap. Pyrrha was sure of it. They'd seen Cinder do this sort of thing before, but then, back then, it was with a guitar. It was quite a fight that time in order to save Ozpin, but eventually they prevailed, although Pyrrha didn't know if they could do it now. After all, Pyrrha was captured and now trapped with the demons in the prison below the cave. Chained up, beaten, threatened with unspeakable acts that the demons all too sure loved to talk about. But it was a trap, and despite that, Pyrrha would love and Jaune would come. Gosh, Pyrrha wished that they could defeat Cinder on their own, but Cinder was too strong and had the prophecy on their side. There was not much to do, except maybe Jaune could save them, but it could still be a trap. Of that, Pyrrha was sure of. Sunny and David finally found a moment to pull Pyrrha away from the others to have a private moment. Pyrrha's in jail!
Yeah, wasn't she captured by herself? I guess we just tagged along.
Sunny and David, we have to do it. I know. My team told me as well. Apparently our feelings are causing problems for everyone else. So we are agreed. We finally let our feelings out of their cages of repression they have been caged in all this time. Yes. For the team. No, for us. Oh god. Sunny and David leapt on Pyrrha at that moment. The raging bats they kept locked up finally unleashed. Sunny and David and Pyrrha quickly became a ball of body parts and blood. Ankles? What kind of weird shit?
Whoa.
Ankles, torsos, and foots all tangled together. Sunny and David didn't know what bit to focus on, so grabbed a arm and dived in. I can't do this.
Do you want me to take over?
Yes.
More. Whispered Pyrrha to Sunny and David. Their lovemaking.
Stop!
Well, we learned something new about someone else. They were everywhere.
I'm gonna die.
Not that either of them wanted to escape them. Things got messy from that point on. Nearby, the others occasionally heard screams, but politely ignored it. This had been coming far too long to ruin it now, and this team bonding was very much needed. They defeated Cinder, and everyone was satisfied.
Just like that.
Cinder, what do you mean it's not over yet? I'm invincible. Jaune, no, back in your casket. Cinder, grr, you will never get me in my box. I am too large and too sexy. Author, oh no, it looks like the characters still want a story. Cinder, I'm gonna steal your cake. Jaune, no, what's going to be my dinner now? Cinder, muahahaha, life isn't worth living without cake. So just die already, will you? Jaune, okay, you're right. Life isn't worth living without the awesomeness of cake. Farewell, bitter world of cakelessness.
Ren, choto mate, Cinder, huh? Emoticon. Pyrrha, domo desu ka? Jaune, cake, need cake. Like brains, but cake. Ren, well, I want you, how about that? Ren winked at Jaune, but wasn't into that sort of shit. But Pyrrha was hot in that, Jaune thought. So Jaune stuck his tongue in Pyrrha's wet cavern and they made out like two slugs. Author, well, looks like they'll be busy for a little while. Cake? Cinder, no, the cake is a lie. Gimme it. The end.
Oh my gosh.
That was too much, dude.
That was a lot more than expected, for sure. Like, grammatical errors, threesomes, it was all a bit much.
But it was kind of hilarious, though.
No, it was super funny. It was like, oh man.
Dude, I got so red, like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I was like, if you want, I could try to take over this as best I can.
Thank you. My asexualness really came out in that, and I was just very uncomfortable.
I don't think it would have mattered what we were. We would have been uncomfortable in that.
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. Just to be sure, do you give me permission to post this on the internet?
Yeah, no, you have permission.
Okay. Everyone hear that? I have permission.
Yep, it's right here. She has my full permission. Unlike unlike Neptune when he cuddled Rwby.
Well, guys, that was a very, shall I say, interesting experience.
That's one way to word all of that, yeah.
Yeah, all of that interesting, I guess.
I mean, on the bright side, at least I got to be somewhat with Pyrrha for once in my life.
As weird as it was, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Personally.
Juniper just keeps a disembodied head in their room.
We created these monstrosities, and now they're on the internet. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of hope for humanity, so about the same, yeah. About the same.
I don't even know how to fucking end this video after that shit show. Like, nothing I say can, like, make up for what just happened.
We're both with less brain cells right now.
Thank you guys so much for watching this, if anyone even got through all of that absolute bullshit. And thanks to David for putting up with my horrible idea and helping me read these horrible stories. So thank you, David, for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you put up with my horribleness for a long time too, so you know it's about time you got back at me.
If you guys don't smash that dislike button below, then maybe one day when we're recovered with immense amounts of therapy from this video, maybe we'll torture ourselves by doing a part 2. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video, whatever happens. Whenever I upload a video, whenever David uploads a video, you guys know the drill.
Yeah.
Bye, I guess? I don't know how to end, like, this fucking video.
Yeah, we just go bye, and then it just
Bye.
ends right there.